had this idea of putting independent video games into an arcade cabinet. But due to restrictions on room and the fact that it's actually been surpassed by a lot of other people, lack of DIY skills, I put it to the back of my mind for a long time, and it just happened a couple of months ago. The girlfriend asked me, or my lovely girlfriend, wanted me to come up with an idea for a birthday present, and for some reason I started searching for miniature arcade cabinets, and I came across this guy called Sm Seide, who was making these awesome little arcade cabinets around about the same size as these, that had games like Mortal Kombat and the original Pac-Man and so forth in them. He was actually decasing the plug-and-play units that you plug into your TV and making them into arcade cabinets. And my first thought was that I emailed him, I asked him about him, and I was actually going to buy one off him, but it turned out it was going to be pretty expensive at the end of the day, especially with shipping from the States and all that. So I just started thinking about, I'd always wanted to put an independent video game in one, and so that's how I came up with the idea to do this. And Spelunky was a pretty natural choice. It's got a lot of replayability, it's retro, it's old school, it's just uncompromisingly tough, so it had a really, really big impact on me back when I originally played it back in, when I played the beta version back in 2008, late 2008, and when it was finally released in mid to late 2009. So this is the arcade cabinet. So we need to talk a little bit about the cabinet itself. So Pete, what were some of the difficulties, or some of the components you had difficulty decasing, and there's design decisions that we came across that we found difficult?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, get out of the way. Other than cats in the project, you really wanted, I got the idea, I got the concept that you wanted. I mean, I built a main machine a couple of years ago, and I've sort of tweaked around with this sort of stuff, and as you said, do a lot of building, and thought it was a pretty simple little project that you had in mind. Yeah. The hardest thing was that there were no real plans available. I mean, we're not really building a miniature arcade, we're building something that looks like it would be a miniature arcade, so you can't really take a full-size cabinet like what I've got and scale it down. The ones that Sam did were really good references, yeah, but they were sort of plug and play. This is going to be...
This was a full-size computer.
Yeah, running, you wanted to run certain software, a certain game that had certain requirements, so we really had to run it PC-based. Yeah. And then we had to figure out a way, because it was only in 4x3, we initially wanted to use a netbook. Yeah. And that wasn't going to work because it didn't play it in the right resolution. Yeah. And as soon as I saw it, I mean, we pretty much all nutted it out in one night. Yeah. I just said, look, we need to get this type of screen, we need DKs, we need to run VGA, we need to run into a mini computer, we'll run proper arcade controls, run a keyboard encoder, yep, a mini main machine. Should be fairly easy, we'll get it to launch straight in. Yep. So really that part of it nutted out pretty quickly. The hardest part was figuring out the size, and I pretty much will say to you, we can't do anything until we get the screen. The screen will dictate its proportions. So we got a nice little, what was it, 10-inch screen? Yep, it was 10-inch, yep. A little 10-inch screen from eBay, it's a security monitor. Once that came, it was pretty easy to fit it in and then start building a template around it. Yep. We used Sam's basic measurements of 24 inches high by about 13 inches wide, and then let the screen dictate the width. Yep. Once I had that, it's all cut out of wood. We made up templates, we worked out angles, what would look good proportionally. Yep. Like if this was probably a full-size arcade machine, it would probably be a lot, this base would be a lot further, so it would probably sit way higher, but because it's going to sit on your coffee table or wherever, it's a good little size. So
we originally planned to have the 3 buttons straight across, but there was no more room on the control panel, so we had to put one button up the top, and You had a lot of trouble decasing the speakers, I understand.
Yeah, we got, because I wanted to run like a proper sound, card on it and get good little speakers, we got a set of Logitechs from, just from Officeworks, and went about, this is all of this is all custom stuff, it's just the speakers have been decased out of the plastic, and it was very difficult to get the speakers out because they were all moulded plastic, and it took like 3 hours to cut them with a Dremel and get them all out, and so that was fun. Undid all the screws, but they're not designed to be taken apart. So yeah, that was fun. That was probably the hardest part.
Yeah, and the coin mech was originally designed to take coins, but unfortunately there was not enough room inside to actually fit the rear half of the coin mech in.
So these are all details that aren't like on some of the other ones that you're seeing. We wanted to have something that the coin door serves absolutely no purpose, but there are full-size ones, and I thought having a coin mech to start would be good, but yeah, the computer just took up way too much room. And you can lock it and take the key away with you and all that sort of stuff. And
so it's got one button to start it up, one button to exit the game, and 2 shut it down, so all controlled with one button. We sort of agonised over which buttons over which to use it as the controls, whether that should be jump and that should be fire, or that should be fire and jump. We ended up deciding to put fire and jump and to switch the items up the top, so it seemed the best way. The real killer for the cost-wise was the artwork, which was professionally printed and tweaked. The colours were tweaked, and
because what we really had to do was come up with like a lot of the other ones on there. They're taking like the Pac-Man one. Like, we know what Pac-Man arcade machines look like, so that was really easy. I mean, Spelunky was an independent game for starters, and we had to kind of build what we thought the proper pro, like if this was to come out as an arcade, that was kind of the brief.
Yeah.
So, like, we've got speakers up the top and we wanted to have like a marquee, and but the problem is, because it's independent, there wasn't a ton of artwork available for it, so we kind of had to just make it up as we went along, like we
printed out what we could from the web, and just found the best quality stuff that we could.
Yeah, I mean that control panel, that's a custom control panel built specifically for this. So we sat down with a guy that does artwork, and he sort of generated it all, and it was all pro printed, and but that's not cheap. I mean that's the tough part. So but all that artwork's now been tweaked, and it's all sort of one-off stuff specifically for the game, and we've got the text as if it comes out on the game as well.
So there's no room for the volume control on the outside, so we've got the volume control on the inside over here. I don't know if you can see it, but there was absolutely no room on the control panel to have the volume control, so we had to put it on the inside.
I think it works better on the inside too.
I've got the final build here, which just shy of $1,000, folks. So it's expensive, but the artwork itself was $300 plus. So if you look, the only way to really cut costs is to
do your own artwork.
Do your own artwork, print it yourself.
Which is what Sam did as well, and but again, with the independent stuff, it was just impossible. There's nothing sort of pre-generated and all of that. I mean, we had there's some interesting costs here, stuff that I didn't necessarily expect, like the perspex, for example.
Which looks somewhat like glass.
That's all. We had to buy all that, and the speaker cloth grill, and and we got the wiring kit and the buttons, and we ended up doing 2 different colours of buttons. So that was sort of that's 2 extra buttons that we've got to buy each time, and the coin mech and all that. There were little touches that make it ultimately
And how was it fitting everything inside? Was it a tight fit?
It was a very tight fit. I mean, you're fitting a full-size PC. As you can see at the back, it still didn't.
That's right. The back of the PC is protruding from the machine.
But under the cables, the whole thing kind of did it. So, but I mean, wiring up the control panel was easy enough. But as I said to you before, the layout was kind of dictated by the amount of room we had. So I actually think those buttons are maybe a centimetre too wide apart. I was playing the main machine today and they're a bit closer. But it kind of might look pox having them too close. So. What's been your reaction back home?
Oh, everyone. I mean, look, we've already. I mean, Pete took a little bit of emailing Sm Seide. Sm Seide really loves it. I've emailed Derek Yu,
who was the creator of the game.
Yeah, creator of this, game of Spelunky. He loves it. I don't think I've had a bad reaction from anyone. I've had visitors look at it. They think it's absolutely great. Family thinks it's great. The cat thinks it's great.
Cats love it.
Hi guys, so I'm guessing you want to see this Spelunky Minicade booted up, so here goes. So, here's the boot up button, turns the machine on, it's running on WinXP, slapped my own custom boot screen there to cover up the WinXP interface. There's also a random sound effect from Gauntlet on boot up, which I may change in the future. You'll hear it in a second.
I've not seen such bravery.
Not sure whether I want to keep that there or not, but we'll see. Spelunky will load straight up. There's the title sequence, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. If you're wondering whether we're going to be making another one of these in the future, providing the stars align and everything else, yes, the answer is yes, early next year. The plans are to possibly make another one of these. I don't want to share too much because I'm not sure exactly what direction I'm going to take it yet, but the plan is to push the boundaries a little bit further and make another one. If you want to leave any comments or feedback in the meantime, you can leave comments below the YouTube video. You can get in contact with me on Formspring. You can follow me on Twitter, and you can find the addresses at the end of the video. So thanks a lot. See you later.